Hello everybody, it's Mike, aka New with the Plan, back again with another video, and I figured we were going to do something a little bit different. So here we are with a chess video, the first time we've ever done that on this channel. If you're one of my regular Clash Royale viewers, please do not be alarmed. I will continue uploading Clash Royale content. I just figured, why not? I'll throw in a chess video here. I do a lot of this on the side, and I figured, I'll just share a game analysis or two, because I think these are quite interesting games. So yeah, if you are new to the channel and you're just here for the chess content, please let me know, and I will gladly upload more of this with any suggestions you might have. I'm happy to try some weird stuff out on some future games. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. My opponent's playing with the white pieces. He opens with d4. I open with d5. Just responding. We're dealing with a basic queen's pawn opening. He plays e3, which is not something I'm used to. It's a little less aggressive. It's not quite the queen's gambit or the London, which is mostly what you'll see like 90% of the time when you play this opening. D4, d5, that is. And so I'm not sure what to do. I play the knight. That's not exactly right. It's not the proper way to develop. I'm supposed to actually close things down here and just prepare to develop kingside. I was worried about this bishop, but, unless you're a maniac, you're not going to be castling queenside here, so that really wasn't that important. However, he doesn't really capitalize on this opportunity. He's supposed to play c4 here, which I don't think is really an intuitive move. If you weren't going to play the queen's gambit, why would you play it now? I am able to continue with my idea, though, because of this. I play the pawn forward. After we trade, my knight is now hitting his bishop. He probably doesn't want to make that trade, so he backs it up. And now I bring my other knight out. He brings his knight forward, which is something that the computer wanted to do just a move ago, but it's still fine. So now we trade off. He's now moved that bishop 3 times, which is great for me. This is an okay move, but it's not exactly what the computer wants. It's fine, though. And now he blocks. I make, once again, another okay move. And the computer only thinks these are okay moves because it isn't thinking like a 1600 rated player like me and my opponent are. And so he just happily trades off here, which is not what was supposed to happen. And so now I'm quite happy because I get to trade with a fork on the king and this pawn. There's no way for him to defend it, so I am in fact just winning a pawn here. So now he castles, I castle. I'm keeping in mind that I do need to back up my queen eventually. However, in the meantime, until I see an immediate threat, I'm just going to continue developing. I finally do put that pawn structure into a little bit of a better position. He moves the queen. I get a little bit antsy and thinking maybe I'm going to get attacked, so let's just move the queen right now, which is perfectly fine. He's supposed to trade the queen here, so he's not really supposed to move that rook. It just wants him to trade that queen as fast as humanly possible, which he does not do. And so I just continue developing, attacking the queen. Once again, it just wants him to trade, but he does not. He just backs up. And so this is sort of just leading him down this slow and deadly road towards its inevitable defeat. So I move the bishop forward after realizing that that's probably where it should have gone in the first place, because now once we trade, I am having this crazy attack here on h2. And so this is probably the most logical way to defend it. The computer certainly agrees. I slide the queen over to continue the attack on h2, and he pushes that h-pawn forward. And so now I still have a decent attack going over here. The computer does like my position just slightly more than his. We have a negative 1.99. I'm not sure why I'm not just rounding it up to 2 at this point, but all the same. I make the wrong move here, kind of negating that advantage a little bit, as you can see. I'm supposed to bring it to this e-file, which does make sense. It's a lot more open. I really want to bring it over to the king side. That was my hope. So why did I put it here, then? Why did I put it on this closed file? Well, because I didn't want to block in this one. However, realistically, since I just told you my plan, and that was the same plan I had in the game, I don't know why I didn't just think, I'll just lift it up one move later and bring it over. All the same, this is kind of a mistake. He makes a mistake in return, though. He could best shut down my attack simply by putting the queen here, because if you look at it, now that knight has to move with check, or else when it moves, he's going to be able to trade off the queens. And as you know, if you're trying to make an attack, you don't want to lose your queens. You don't want to trade those. I make the wrong move here, because now he gets this nice little knight fork attacking the rook, and also this pawn, which is a double attack, so now he's going to win on the next move. However, he does not do that, or because he misses that and just plays the pawn instead. I'm not sure what that's about. So I just push this pawn forward, trying to kick the knight away, and then I finally double up these rooks, which is something I'm quite happy with. Now I see that I have a lot of attacking potential here on this poor little e-pawn on e3. And so I'm starting to think about sacrifices. What does he do? He pushes his pawn, which is perfectly fine. This is c4. It's very funny because that's, of course, the move that the computer wanted to play, like, I don't know, some 20 moves ago or something like that. And I decide, you know what? Screw it. This feels like a perfect time. His queen's all the way over here. What's it doing? I'm going to try and get something going here. And so I go ahead and sacrifice my knight. Now, this was not a good sacrifice, apparently. The computer wasn't too happy about that. All the same, I am still winning, so it's all right. I think there were just better ways to press my advantage. One example being rook to e4, because look at that. Now his pawn's pinned to his queen, and I'm getting into the position. Things are going to be really bad for him. Instead, I make this somewhat dubious sacrifice. All the same, the computer still thinks I'm winning, especially after he does that. That is not what he was supposed to do, which is funny. You might think that, why not take the knight for 2 pawns? but in fact, this allows me to get into the position with an insane attack. And the funny thing is, this wasn't even the best move. Once again, I missed the best move, which is to move the queen here, and I guess I'm threatening this check, and there's going to be all sorts of nasty stuff going on there. Instead, I do this, and he makes an inaccuracy because he sees that I'm attacking this pawn, and he thinks, well, I'm going to move the king up to defend it. He should have moved the queen. It's funny, the computer's been screaming at him to just move this queen here for the last few moves, and here I think he might have been able to hold things down. I'm not sure I would have been able to find the correct attack after that point. It would have gotten a little bit too technical. However, after he moves this, I sit there and I think about it for a little bit, and I find the brilliant sacrifice. If you've seen the thumbnail, then you probably know what the move is that I'm supposed to do here. You sacrifice the rook. Rook takes g3, and what's the best part? He's not even supposed to take it. He's supposed to give up his queen in this long line because, well, let's just look at the threat. What's going on here? If you were to just ignore it, play a nothing burger move, well, then I just take here in his mate because there's no way for him to get out of this. I am just coming down both lanes, completely crushing. So obviously he needs to do something. He can't just ignore this. However, the best move here is to stop the mating threat by unveiling this queen defending the pawn. However, all I have to do is just bring the rook down, and now his only move to stay in the game is to sacrifice the queen, which is just insane. So he does not find this, and even if he did, it still would have been crushing. However, he just takes the rook, which allows for a much quicker attack. I think this move's a little bit more intuitive. However, if you found it, it is still a brilliant move, or a great move, I guess. You still get the exclamation point, which is the awesome part, right? And so I believe, once again, yeah, he plays an inaccuracy. It's a mate in 5 if he goes out into the middle of the board, but, you know, a mate in 5 versus a mate in 2, as long as I can find both, it doesn't really matter. We're still going to win the game. So here, I go in with this queen check, and if you were to go here, I believe you should be able to find the mate pretty easily. It's just the same idea as before, the queen and the rook lining up and checkmating. So he does not do that. Instead, he moves the king right here, which is perfectly fine. And now here, feel free to look at this simple puzzle. There is a mate in 1. I did not see it, embarrassingly enough. So the computer doesn't like this move because of that. However, you'll see that the eval bar still says it's a mate in 2, so that's perfectly fine. Mate in 1 versus mate in 2. As long as I find the mate in 2, it's perfectly fine. He is forced to go here, and it's pretty simple at this point. I just bring the rook over with the check, knowing that you can only go to 1 square, and now it is a checkmate. So that is what happened in the game, following a dubious sacrifice and then a brilliant double exclamation point sacrifice with the rook. I hope you enjoyed this game. If you have any games that are similar, this reminded you of anything, feel free to share in the comments. And once again, yeah, if you thought this was interesting, if you'd like to see more chess content, I am happy to oblige. But yeah, otherwise, you can expect the regular Clash Royale stuff. And anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you later. Goodbye.